Hi everybody, welcome back to the Bumpkin News. This is the Bumpkin in Chief, offering what we hope is a unique and provocative point of view, something that will get those gears up in the old noggin turning and help you to think about some things. It may be that you disagree, but it's a good thing that at least you moved from what you were thinking into new avenues of thought. And hopefully, sometimes you go through the thought process and you might change your mind a number of times and come back to your original way of thinking. But it's reinforced and it's sound and it's solid, and then you're grounded and you know what you believe. And that's what we want to do. We want our children to be that way. We want them to have been exposed to different types of thinking and to come to understand the way that they think and what they believe and what is based on fact and on solid reasoning. Today we want to look at the issue of the war on terror. Is the war on terror synonymous with a war on Islam, or is it a war on Islam? And this brings to mind an interesting side thought, about hypocrisy, and primarily hypocrisy on the right, hypocrisy of so-called conservatives. Most of us, if we look far enough, we'll see hypocrisy in ourselves. Maybe a small degree of hypocrisy, but hypocrisy nonetheless. How often have you seen somebody say something and do something? And a lot of times it's not even a conscious thing, but it's something that they haven't discovered in their self-awareness yet. The people that are the more egregious violators of their own principles that they espouse, these are the ones that we normally refer to as hypocrites. But we try to eliminate that in ourselves as much as we can, as much as we're aware of. But the conservatives sometimes call themselves conservatives. They can be bigoted, they can be racist, they can be extremely biased, and I think an interesting view of that, an interesting expose of that, is in the recent case of the marriage of Rush Limbaugh. If you recall, or if you heard this, Rush Limbaugh, who is a conservative, he has been on the conservative side of many, many issues. One of them is about gay marriage and gays. And he had Elton John play at his wedding ceremony. And the disdain that was heaped upon him for having a gay individual play at his wedding. When we look at things like this, I may disagree with your position on something, but as a human being, I still love you. As a human being, I will still treat you the way that I would want to be treated. And the same laws that apply to me apply to you. Well, Rush got all this static and all this flack from so-called conservatives about this, and it brought an interesting question to my mind. If you say that Rush was wrong for having a gay man perform at his wedding, I'd ask you the question, do you vet your plumber? Do you find out if your plumber is gay, or if he holds some kind of objectionable philosophies? The guy that works on your car, do you do the same thing? The woman that waits on you at the grocery store or checks you out, if she's a lesbian, do you refuse to go to her aisle, to her cash register? Do you hold that kind of same set of value, that same value set on your dealings with people? You can go too far in things. You must be temperate. If we were to do that, we'd have to put ourselves in a box or stay locked up in our houses all the time, because all the people that we interact with in life are going to hold views that are not our own. And if we would eliminate them from any interaction, then we wouldn't have any interaction or very little interaction with people. So I think that was hypocritical on the part of those that castigated Rush Limbaugh for that. No, Rush Limbaugh is a friend of Elton John's, and Elton John is a friend of him, although they hold divergent viewpoints on that one particular issue. Okay, back to the main topic, is the war on terror a war on Islam? You know, when a police officer, and we're looking at this from, as a citizen of the United States, according to our laws here, you know, what our society, how it's comprised. If a police officer arrests you for speeding, does he ask you what your religion is? Does he ask you what views you hold? No. See, it's the same way like we referred to the Rush Limbaugh thing. That's why it's similar. No, it's the fact that you violated the law. The law is the same for you as it is for me, or at least it should be. The law does not look at what you believe. I can be a protester against motherhood, but that doesn't change my standing in the eyes of the law. If I violate the law, I have to suffer the consequences. If I advocate a bombing of people, that can't be, or if I do bomb people, that can't be tolerated. If you move in next door to me, hey, I don't care what you do. That's your business. That's your life. Except when you begin to violate my rights and you begin to violate the law, then we've got a problem coming in here. You know, if I see you setting off hand grenades in the backyard, you know, that's not going to get it. Now, if you go out somewhere in New Mexico and you own a 50,000 acre ranch and you want to go out there and blow your head off, you know, that's really not my business to try to help you out on that. I mean, that's kind of a personal thing. You want to do that, but when you're in a neighborhood with a bunch of kids around and houses all over, you can't be engaging in that kind of an activity. The law is there to protect all the citizens equally. Now, if you want to, you want to watch YouTube videos of people shooting grenades off, or you want to listen to soundtracks of atomic explosions and stuff like that, hey, as long as you're not disturbing the peace, hey, do your thing, have at it. But if you, if you want to, beat your wife, cut your wife's head off, and those kind of things like that, I don't care what your religion is. It makes no difference to me. It makes no difference to the law. But the law says that you can't do that kind of stuff in the United States. You can't beat people. You can't kill people. You can't do all these kind of things that violate other people's rights, regardless of your political philosophy or your religious beliefs. You can't do that. So it's not a war against a religion. It's a war against aggressive warfare, because that's an organization that is killing people, that is destroying property. That cannot be tolerated in civilization. As again, if you want to go somewhere that is just you and you want to do these things, and the people are on board with that, hey, we may know, may not know about it. And if it happens, the country in which it happens, that government should deal with it in whatever way that they have devised. If you live in a country that says that you can beat your wife, cut your wife's head off, all that kind of thing, and that's fine, hey, that's their business. The United States should not go in to another country, a sovereign nation, and tell them how that they're going to run their country. That's not our business. What goes on in America is our business. And when there is acts of violence that are perpetrated throughout the world in nations that have laws against these things, and they ask us for help, then we would have a standing to go in and try to police this thing. Or if a nation launches an attack on us, or it originates in a nation,